Hello world, I'm back again. I'm back. I've been I've been on the move throughout the day. It's nice to be back. I'm just gonna check real quick that we're live. So I've been to the beach, to the mountain, been on a little road trip today. It's nice to be finally back. I'm just gonna check that we're live real quick, then I'm gonna proceed to the beach to the task at hand today. Today we move further and further we move. Ha 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 ha. You know, it's the code breather. Ha 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 ha. We're back live and direct. I hope everyone is doing great today. Shout out to the people that joined in yesterday. You guys are amazing. DS931, Liminal, Shy for Ganting, What Name, It's Same, and every other person that joined in yesterday, logging in the background or like engaging with the chat and everything with the community. I appreciate you guys. Paul, Martin, you guys are so amazing. You guys are so amazing. So now we've taken over the world. You guys are so amazing. You guys are so amazing. You guys are so amazing. Let's get back to work now. Field setter implementation tokens. Yep, that looks good to me. So let's say this returns that. I remember the days we were young. You know it just like every day. I recall when I couldn't make it to the top of the game. So we gave up. Now we started entertaining. Body loop. I mean, you guys are so amazing. But now we've taken over the world. They made us who we are. They took us very far. Europe and America, they cannot do without it. We cannot do without you. We cannot do without you. So do field ident, serialize format. Field ident, I believe. But we do serialize format, probably it doesn't really matter as much. But that's gonna be get normalized ident, struct level casing. So we have to pass table attribute table attribute. I think this returns a result, but we can confirm that. Yep, so that should probably return an extract result also. Okay, good. Although you are in miseries, from you where I can make them right. something else I could actually do is try to guess infer the link name, and only if I cannot infer it should I tell the user that they should specify that. But yeah, we can definitely get around that. We try to get an attribute on the field, parse the type within the, let's say, link many, link into a foreign table, parse the type within the angle brackets. Then when we parse it, we can put in a method on that, and let's say check link, for example. And if at compile time we cannot find that method on it, we can throw a compile time error that this is invalid. Then you would have to specify the link many attributes, but we'll leave that out now. That's just nice to have that we can always chew on later on. But for now, let's focus on this. Let's focus on what we got. We know we need a right. You know it's something right. 'Cause it's us against the world. You and me against the mob. Does that implement I guess we can do it to string. That's probably okay. That's fine. Import that. If you listen to the word, know that we standing tall. I don't ever you and I, we've inherited so long. When I'm with you, I feel so unbreakable. Where's the error coming from? It's numeric. Okay. That's weird. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see where that is coming from. We have an extra stuff down. Yeah, we needed to do that. So we're using the num trait. Let's go to this. Okay, we get num trait there with trait token, but where do we need this? Yep. So this, let's just do here. So we have num trait and array. So if it's number, we do all this. I think in that case we could probably just, we don't need to do the check here. So is it only for numbers? Number setting, num trait. Okay. I'm gonna rename that to numeric field setter numeric trait set implementation. Yeah. So those are for numeric stuff. Okay, makes sense to me. So we only want to have that for field that are numeric, so we can do some, or as a matter of fact, it's numeric. Okay, so I'm just kind of thinking, yes, none. So this provision. Yep. Returns an option now. When you look over your shoulder, for a minute I was done cold sober. I think that you should get some rest. Your love is beautiful than ever, and every day you know will get better. You make me feel this way somehow. I knew I love you and you never know. Then this, we can have this as shut this. Woo! Pop funk array trait implementation. Darling, just you and me. Do you reckon I'll say you would go? Say you would let go. 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 Oh, let go, let go. I don't think they need it. You never know, though you sure me to ignore. We come to harm out there. Look how we done. Now it's you and me. To this is gonna be interesting because we need the generics for that, and I don't know what's okay. Tell you what. Let's go. Let's just comment this out. It's good. Array item. Array item. Maybe I'll just take that. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. Link many accurate exit for million years. I will still never find no word. So the feeling of fear inside my heart, like the true feeling had never been. Girl, it's never been so hard to say the way I feel. If I could run away, I'd run with you far away to a place where there'll be near to describe to you the way I feel for you and never feel about you. My heart and my soul. Custom type, Garena type. If I could pick a day to run away, I'll surely pick a Sunday, 'cause the end will be here. To the day, I dispose of you and me. The reason I need to end just to talk to you for me is that you're my angel. So maybe you will understand the angel when I tell you how I feel. The way I feel for you, never feel about you. My heart and my soul desire. If I could run away so far, if I could run away. But sometimes it might not be either of the two, and we've got something. So the other scenario, actually, we could do if it's list. If I could run away. I've been trying to say. many people too young. Many people, many people, many people, many people. So we're using the fallback array item concrete DB type. Oh, array item. So we get the type. Then we see if it's array. We get the item type and the item type that we get with the reference. And okay, that's fair. So we can do I guess we can do yeah, we probably want to lazy load that, so it's fine. Get concrete. Get fallback array item concrete DB type. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. Could not infer the type of yeah, I think it's better that cause you make me we can equally have something like cause you make me the happiest man in the world. You know all I have is to you. Love set me free. Giving myself what am I missing here? My sun doesn't shine, my days are dark. Just wanna come home to you. What am I missing? Syntax error, expected expression. 'Cause you make me type. You know what? I'm just gonna take that out. Take this out for now. How about we do that? What's that doing? There. So we do that, or we get a fallback type. However, what is the default of this? I'm not sure we actually want to get a fallback. I think we just want to return. We just want to error out here. Arena type this oh yeah. Okay, it's an option. That's fine. We'll get around it. Nice to complete this implementation tonight. Yep. Actually, we want to take that off. Get my hand, you're my darling, baby. You're my feminine, baby. I mean, we could do something like or then we do is okay. Then we do something like okay, or else then error. Yeah, we could do something like this, but I'm not sure this is the way I wanna go, because it would be nice not to swallow this error so I can get that out rather than swallowing it. That's why I'm trying to avoid that. I don't want to swallow that error. I want to propagate it, and so we can know exactly what's happening. This returns an option. Should it always? I feel like this could return this should return a results, because get array type, and it depends on how we wanna like undo this. Should we say this should only be applied to an array, and only when it cannot find the inner type of the array it errors out, or can it be applied to any type? In which case, if it's not the proper array, it's gonna return none. But if it's not a proper array, it shouldn't return the result, because that's the item on which it's doing the assertion or the check is a valid type, so it shouldn't return an error. It's like find. If you have the find higher order function, if it cannot find the element, you don't tell it to return a result. But if you're going to use the analogy in this context, then it makes more sense that if you cannot find the item, the vector item, then it returns none. But if the item itself is invalid, and there is no way the type should be invalid in the first place, because the validity should be asserted at the point of parsing, not at the point of assertion, because we have the concrete type back as type, which means we actually have the type. It has been parsed. We are done. We are done with the parsing phase of the type. Now we have the type, and we are trying to assert. We are trying to check the item type of this vector. So there are two things actually. We are, I think we are conflating two things. We are conflating the check of the type. So is this type a list or not? Then we're also trying to assert if it's we're trying to get the item type, if it has an item type, and an array should always have an item type anyway. So we can decide to consolidate those two checks or separate them. That if this is list, then it should check the item type. It should get the item type. It shouldn't even be checking, because if it's a list, then it should have an item type. So some other thing I think we could do is we can have a check is list or checklist. Check type, assert type is list, and rather than returning a boolean, we'll return an option, right? I think we shouldn't return a result, because if it's not a list, it's not an error. It just means our assertion, our hypothesis is false. So in that kind of scenario, it makes more sense for us to return none. So is list could return an option rather than a boolean. So if it's a list, it returns the list type as an option, and if it's not, it returns none. So that can help us break down the ambiguity and complexity. And yep. So it's list. Then array inner type can then go to a list. Yeah. I think I have better clarity on that. So but the tricky thing about that is that when we're checking it is list, we're not only checking the concrete item type, the concrete field type. We're also using some other heuristics that are not related to the type. We're using, for example, the attribute. If you have an attribute specified, the database type is a set or a list, we can categorize that as a list. So anyway, I think here we're more interested in the concrete type. So one thing we could actually do is on this custom type, I think so on this custom type we could have something like what would that be? We could have is list. I think is list is probably somewhere here. Raw type is list. Which raw type is list, mostly focused on the type. So here we're returning boolean instead, but we could actually return the item type instead. We could definitely do that. We're checking the last segment, the ident, and checking the arguments in the brackets. Checking if it's vector, and if it is, then it's lists. We can also get everything within, and is list. Okay. And without get array in a type. Should actually be doing. How's everyone doing today? Expected. I don't want to waste time on that now. So this array type should I get array type? Should I have an array? But we're actually able to tell if the field is an array. So this gives us the array type. Otherwise we use the db type and this should give us a result. I wonder if getting array type, I think we shouldn't have this as a result, because if there is an issue with this, then it should be an internal issue. We should panic because this is not a user error. So in that case, I think it's totally fine for us to panic in that scenario. So this is totally fine to return an option, in my opinion, because the type should always be valid. And then this does return a result, and I can see why it will return it. But we're trying to do this. Get this. I just don't want to unwrap or default, because if I do that, then what would be the default of these actually? The default of results. Structure. Does anyone know the default of this? Does result implement default? I don't want to go into the implementation. Oh, that would be the default of the type itself. So what's the default? That would be any, because we go to db field token. The default is any, yeah. And I'm not sure if we actually want to have that as any, or we just want it to error out. So what we're basically doing is best effort, and it should always, I think it's fine to have it as any. If you cannot check it, there is no need to stress the user. So I think this is actually fine as any. Then we get custom type out of that, and when we have the custom type from that, we can code that, because it can be empty, right. But yeah, I think we do map. And since we're using unwrap or default, they would probably always have something here. Map item type, code that. My brain is still slowing down a little bit. Item type, and this should give us an option now which runs with others. So anyway, so we have the array item, and what we can do now is take array implementation, reset implementation to be array item type map that. I'm wondering if we should return an option here. Should we return an option? It's fine. So we've got the setter, blah 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 blah, field identifier, item type. Although we might have a problem because the item type might actually use some generic stuff, so we need to be wary of that. Array item type. So if we go to that, array item, but this could actually use generics. So in the case of this, we have something like that, or in your states we might need to pass in that. Then that complicates things a little bit because we also need the generics implementation. Let's think this through a little bit. And I've been getting a lot of spam in my email. Report spam. And I know where it's likely coming from. Michael Camfuis. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Means a lot to me. So this can actually be a bit tricky because we do need the generics and we cannot blindly put in the generics. Sometimes the foreign node, when you're dealing with links, they might actually have generics. Right. So we probably also need to take that into consideration, right? Yeah. So let's deal with that. So we shouldn't just return this, but we should return generics meta. So let's see if we've got methods generics. I'm not sure. Let's check the type itself. Let's inspect it. Why don't we go to custom type? Do we generics get generics meta? Yep. So destination original blah blah blah, which is probably what we're using. Yeah. To be honest, this actually is less relevant because now we are using specific types, so we shouldn't need to use this intermediate stuff. I believe we can just wrap those directly. Before we were using this for every foreign field, right, or foreign object, but now that we have specific types for all the foreign objects, we probably don't need a codec. What's good? Thanks for joining. How's it going? Where you chatting from? I appreciate you for joining the stream. How's it going today? How did you find the channel? I'm just always curious. So in that case, we probably don't need this destination. It's just a distraction. So because of that, I will probably, let's see where we're using this. It doesn't even matter where we're using it. We can and should do away with it. Let's see. Most definitely should do without that. From Meta. Yo, codec. Am I supposed to leave you now when you looking like that? I can't believe I think it makes more sense to use custom type directly. Yeah, we don't need the and in that case we pretty much have access to everything we need, and we could probably just implement from Meta, at least for now. Am I supposed to leave you now when you're looking like that? I can't believe it. I just keep doing. I just take it there. I don't wanna get lost. I don't wanna live my life without you. Am I supposed to leave you now? We don't even need that because we have a DRF implementation, so that should have it. What we could need is let's do not that, maybe to basic type, Oh, actually, tell you what, destination type original on destination type no self. Oh, I see why we're using that. So this is actually original and no self, and that can be helpful, right? But actually that is totally unnecessary because the only place we should probably have self is in link self and probably link many, and probably not in any other place. Just link one and link self and link many. So so replace self should probably be on only link self and link many. Yeah. Yep. Let's do that. I think we replace self. Remove. Self. It. And we probably don't need the basic type since that's on. Okay. Let's practice. You aren't gonna need it. The basic type. Let's just remove that for now. Yep. Token wrappers. Remove that. Take that off. Maybe take that off temporarily. Take that off on this. So yeah, now that we've implemented the ref for this, we should be able to get generic meta. Perfect. And we need to pass in the table attribute. Let's just take that as an argument. Probably take a reference to that. So we can return a tuple here. The reason I'm thinking of collocating this is a scenario whereby but it's possible for that to also not exist. What if we have like foreign node with actually generics, but generics is none and stuff? So Yep. So okay, we have the generics meta here, which is gonna return a tuple of that. So we have the generics meta and that. Yep, let's return an option of that because we won't always have that. If we come down here, we can do the same because the type pretty much. Let's return a tuple here. Okay, yeah, thank you. But no, actually, because we're linking directly to the foreign object, we don't need to go through this indirect means of getting the stuff we're linking to. Yeah, we could as well just use thing directly, but we want to get the exact type of the ID. So just to do that, and this gives the generics meta of this also. And when we do this, we get the array inner type. It gives us the custom type, and map. Should we just map this instead? Yeah, we could first map this. Map item type. I just say item, and we do the same thing. No, it can't be none here. We can actually get the generics meta because this is a type, and we're able to. Yeah, it is a type, custom type. Why doesn't this work? Oh, yeah, we're missing that. So this is able to give us generics meta. Then we can return a tuple here. Does the same. It's good. Custom type. Okay. Expected parentheses. Okay, we're missing one more. So that then we say or else. So in the case where this is empty, we go here, and in this scenario actually we can just go fallback type, fallback db type. I think this actually does return. Oh, it's db type, db concrete type. I think that is actually what we, and that typically doesn't have generics actually, but we technically can. Yeah, we don't have generics for that anyways, but so we need to rename these two. Why do we call it fallback even? We can just get db type because it goes through the type and checks the type. If it's an array, it gives you the item type. Otherwise, we can definitely tell you what, since this part we like, it's, I think it makes more sense to return an option here because this is not really an error. It just means that we're not, and the type is not an array. So Um. Yep, yep. Tell you what. It's not an array. So we can call this array, not an array. Yeah, I think that's a valid stuff. We don't even need the port. We can just say get array, get db type, db array type, or db type array. I'm really bad with naming now. db array item type as token. Where in how many places are we using this? We're actually using it in a single place. So honestly, in my opinion, it makes sense to just say get db type as token, so that we can then reuse it, right? So what we can do here is just take all this out, right? And in that case, this doesn't need to return blam. So because returning type db type. So let's go to yeah, this makes the most sense. It makes the most sense to have this implementation actually on db type, because now we're using a wrapper pattern. So let's go to the type implementation, and yeah, we can do where we're having into inner. We can pretty much just have that there, or so we can have it as pub function as token stream yeah, as token stream. Don't do that. Field type. And as db SQL value, as db SQL value token stream as db SQL value token stream. So we do that. We get a type. We don't need that. We could just do self into inner, gives us the value, and then actually we can return this as, let's use a wrapper type here just to I should create a helper macro to undo all this. So this can be say SQL value, and let's token string SQL value. Okay, let's create a helper macro. I think macro create token string wrapper. What else do we need? We want to have it to tokens. Maybe I'm just gonna use yep. Yeah, deref. But one thing, we don't need deref mute now. We don't need deref mute because most of the time we're not mutating the token, and I don't want us to. Or let's do without it for now. Let's ignore that. Okay, into from yep. This also, let's export that macro export. Yep. Yep. So we can use that as SQL value on DB type. Now, if we go, where was that originally? It's on my phone. You mean international now? VPN is. Anurag, how can be master in Rust and tell about future job in Rust? How can you be a master in Rust? That's a very good question. I think a way to answer that is to answer the question, how can you be a master in anything? You have to put in the time, the work, and you have to put in the game and the skin in the game. You have to understand that there really isn't any shortcut. You just have to put in the work. You have to be obsessed with your work. And I think the first step to obsession is finding your purpose. Like, why are you doing whatever you're doing? Once you have that, then you have to also ask yourself, how relevant is what you're doing? So you want to make sure you have a purpose, and you want to make sure your purpose is relevant. Is it helping yourself first, or is it helping people solve some kind of relevant problem? Then when you have purpose and you have relevance, it's easier to obsess about it. You need to care about something enough for you to really master it. You cannot master something you don't really care about. Really, you cannot master something you don't really care about. You don't have to love it, right? You don't have to love every part of it, but you have to care about it enough. It could be for whatever reason. You could have any motivation. It could be intrinsic. It could be extrinsic. It could be you just want to make money out of it. It could be you just want to be known for it, some kind of altruistic or whatever it is. But you have to care about something enough for you to obsess about it. And you cannot master something you cannot obsess about, right? Because mastering something means you have to spend a lot of time working with it, and there would be a lot of frustration. There will be a lot of time you don't really enjoy working on that stuff. But as long as you really care about that stuff and you're obsessed with it, you're gonna continue mastering it anyways. So find your purpose, make sure your purpose is relevant, and if it's relevant, make sure that you care about it enough to be obsessed with it. And obsession is how mastery comes. So obsession begets mastery, right? So just get obsessed with whatever problem you're solving. That's the same way you can get good at Rust. So if you obsess about it, I wouldn't even have to tell you, give you recommendations, because you're gonna have to go out there, go figure it out. The books, the courses, the blogs, the code base, things to read. You're gonna just like, you wouldn't be able to sleep, because even while you're sleeping, you're thinking about Rust. Like, at least that was the case for me. Like, I can't sleep. I'm just thinking about it. I'm obsessing about every tiny detail, every minute, every second. So I would say that's really the way, and don't expect that there is a shortcut, and you just have to be patient also. And also remember that patience isn't passiveness, right? You just have to continue putting in the work and just keep on believing, and give yourself some time to, you know, get good at what you're doing. Don't rush. You can be fast, but not rush. Not rushing things. So more speed, less haste. Um, what's on my mind? I was trying to think at the same time I'm talking. I've been trying to think. Haku do 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 do. Honestly, we could just say custom type. Okay. And I know that it hurts, you know that it hurts your pride. We try to cross the screen and on the other side. Oh, that I shouldn't have done that there. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Somebody better than you. It doesn't matter, I'm just gonna yep. Remove that. Custom type. Looks good. Get array item type. Inner type. Or get vec inner type. That's really what it is now. But okay. DB field type. Okay. So SQL value token stream. Yep. SQL value token stream. Looks good. Okay. Yep. Review tab. We can actually bring that together. Generate static assertion. Tell you what. Bytes. Say float. I think geometry. I guess I'm just thinking if we you know what I'm thinking about, because yeah, if we have let's say field type, self dot into inner, that gives us a field type, and we want the token. should we implement it directly on token? Because what we can actually do is oh yeah, I mean field type is different from value. Yep. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Anyway, if it's record, why am I using this as an option? Shouldn't it just be that? Geometry. Okay. Create name. Oh, yeah, that's what I already have. I mean, technically, we can look at the option type and do a recursion on that. This is what I mean. We could do field type and val because I mean, because so yeah, we do something like this. Main and it's something we could definitely do. That's something we could do. What else could we do that same stuff for? We could do it for these also. It's gonna be tricky though. But yeah. So what I mean is we could do Could be any of those. Okay. UID. Okay. That doesn't even come with generics, so you can so this is hurry. Is array thank you. What can we tell the user to do here? Splash it later. Because if infer sorry heuristically. I think it should probably go on field receiver itself. Infer. So if the user specifies that, otherwise, user specifies that, okay, else we want to lazily evaluate this. I think it makes sense here. Brett Hagen, do you ever take notes or just keep trying stuff? Do you mean when I'm working on stuff? I really don't take note, honestly. I just do I take note? Let me think about it. I really don't take sometimes I might be working with a code and maybe I need to do some experiments. I might just put the code aside. I might actually have an example of that. I think I might have an example of that. let's go back a little bit. Oh, don't I? Backspace. Maybe I might have deleted it actually. Oh yeah, see this trash for example. I might just leave a code here if I want to do a lot of experimentation. This was a previous version of my code. I need to actually remove it. It's called trash now. So I leave an example, but almost always I never go back to it. Working on this or learning new things. When I'm learning new things, sometimes I've taken notes, but I almost never go back to the notes. So the way I really see these things is most of the notes we take, we never remember them anyways. As long as the problem is really important to you. And this is not a black and white thing. Sometimes you want to take note if I need to write an exam around the corner, I probably want to take some notes. But if it's something I'm gonna be working with day to day, if something is coming very repeatedly, then I might note that somewhere. But just generally, I don't really take notes because if I'm working with it every day, if it's relevant to me, then I wouldn't need the note anyway. I wouldn't be going back to the note anyway because I'll be so familiar with it. I'll be working with it so much that I'll be so familiar with it, I wouldn't need the notes anyways. So I remember when I was reading the designing data intensive application, I believe I took some notes. Maybe I did some marking around the stuff, but I've never gone back to the notes. But for things like that, for example, where it's more like abstract, like designing data intensive application, then I usually would take note, I think, because if I need to go to an interview, they need to ask some questions, then I can easily just go back to the notes and go through it. But for things that are more like hands-on, like coding, like working with Rust for example, I usually don't take notes for those things, because if you're working with it enough, you wouldn't need the notes. But for things that are more like theoretical, like designing data intensive application, for some key stuff when you're doing data structures and algorithm, then in those scenarios I might take notes, but I usually don't use the notes. Anyways, I'm not sure if that answered your question. But I need to start making courses soon, which I'm planning to. I will be making notes for that kind of situation. I think that would be very handy. Yeah. How about you? How do you usually handle stuff like that? Do you take notes, and what works best for you? So we check if the user has a type. If the user doesn't define the type, we try to infer the type. I don't know why it's not auto formatting. Then if we're not able to infer the type, say this gives results, and then this should be unwrap or else. I don't really take a lot of notes. Typically just leave a comment here and there, clean up when I'm done. Where are your tests at? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think that's quite close to the way I handle things. Where are my tests as? There are a lot of them actually. So I've got I could show you some of them. So I've got some integration tests here. Yep, there are a bunch of them here. So for example, if I take you to, let's say, transaction, this is some tests. Another is query turbo, some tests here. Query macro has some tests here. setter, plum. Some of them are like quite straightforward. Code block are some tests here, but some other tests are in so I have some compile time tests here also to check mostly the attributes. I need to update them because I'm making drastic changes to the attributes. So these are some other tests. Then I've got tests for the query builder. So these are more like embedded within. So these are a bunch of tests. And because I'm using macros aggressively, this would have been so much more. So everything is tested, like every function is tested. We go to statements. There are tests for everything. Let's go to select, for example. There are tests. Then I also have Rust doc tests, and yep, all these functions are tested. This, for example, will probably have been more than 2,000 lines, but I'm using macros. All these functions are tested. Every one of them, every single one of them is heavily tested. For the migration stuff, I have a bunch of integration end-to-end tests for it. So for example, you can see for generate, we've got a bunch of tests for that. For initializing, a bunch of tests. For listing, a bunch. Embedded migrations, a bunch of tests there. For reversal, a bunch of tests. That I'm pruning, a bunch of tests here. Reset, a bunch of tests. So this is heavily tested actually, but I mostly did integration tests for the migration. Then what else? I'm sure there are a bunch of other tests and Rust doc test also. So that's pretty much it. I've got about 2,000 test cases now. Yeah, you can check out the repo. We have about 2,000. I'm pretty confident that this is the most tested Rust migration tooling and one of the most tested Rust code base. We have about 2,000 test cases and probably more than 4,000 or 5,000 assertions now. So I think that's decent. That would help us move much faster. Let's go back here. Where were we? Let's go maybe 100 times backwards or 50. Yep, let's try to close everything first. Yep, we're here, exactly here. I'm fairly new to Rust, might be a bit for me, however it's gonna be nice to look over. Yes, definitely, it doesn't hurt. What got you interested in Rust? Most definitely. So this returns the results, and yeah, unwrap or else would be way to go. The memory safety, it's impressive and fulfilling. Yeah, it is. With time, you'll find that that's not even the biggest part. For me, I mean, it was nice to learn about the memory safety and lack of garbage collection. But for me, the biggest thing has been the tooling, especially cargo. which is not even Rust itself, because that was built almost from the get-go. So a lot of things were like actually thought out before getting started. And if you've worked with Yarn, I've worked with Yarn 1, Yarn 2, Yarn Berry, plug and play. I've worked with PNPM, I've worked with NPM, I've worked with Deno, I've tried Bun, I've built my own shell script to do a bunch of packet workspace management. I've used Turbo Repo, I've used Learner, I've used probably a bunch of other stuff, and it's so frustrating to use these tools, because when I'm using Rust, for example, and I'm configuring my workspace, especially when I start using more complex workspace, now I'm fairly confident around just working with like more complex code base workspace, right? But when I started, it was very helpful knowing that when things weren't working, the chances that it was my fault were very high, right? But if I was using PNPM for example, like, I don't know if it's one of the libraries, one of the packages I'm using, or it's just like PNPM not working or something like that. I wouldn't be sure where the problem lies. And because TypeScript is really weakly typed, I mean, it's statically typed, but it's still JavaScript at the end of the day. There were many times I would have to patch my package because of incompatibility of API. I was using this patch package stuff, and also frustrating to do. I did that quite a bit, patching packages. It was frustrating. I was working on a project, and on that project alone, I tried all this package management. I was running into tons and tons of issues, and at that point I was just like, I don't want to ever have to waste time on configuring. I mean, Bun is trying to do all this stuff now, but I'm just done with TypeScript. I'm done with JavaScript. I've not even talked about TS-lint. You have to configure your ES-lint. Then I tried Rome. I think Rome has also been deprecated now. They're not working on it anymore. And there is now Biome. Then I also worked with DS-lint, which is written in Rust or something, or RS-lint. I believe it's RS-lint. Then you have to configure your so that's ES-lint or RS-lint. I tried Rome. I tried Dino and a bunch of other stuff. And still, I didn't even get a quarter of what I would get with Rust. And not to even talk about the testing. I've worked with Enzyme, I've worked with Jest, I've worked with Supertest, I've worked with Vitest. So I worked with Cypress. I've worked with what's this one by Microsoft? I think it uses Puppeteer under the hood. It starts with P. It's actually much better than Cypress in my opinion. It's relatively new. I think it's by Microsoft. It's by P. It starts with P, letter P rather. Not Puppeteer, but I've forgotten that. So I've used a lot of like testing package, and the fact that for me to even get started to be productive, I need to figure out the right linting stuff to use too. I need to figure out the right testing tool to use. I need to figure out the right code formatting. I've not talked about that. Prettier. I need to figure out the right workspace management, package management. Like, it was so frustrating, and like everything is just like fragmented and so frustrating to work with. Whereas I have Cargo. Cargo takes me like 95% of the way, and I don't need to think about anything else. I want to lint, Cargo format, Cargo Clippy. I want to test, Cargo test. Package management, I use cargo workspace. I want to add a package cargo add and stuff. Like everything is just cargo, and it mostly just works. You don't have to guess if this is working. So for me, that has been the biggest perk, I would say. And then of course Rust type system, especially I share the same feelings. Whatever is in Rust, things just work. At least for me, been working in it for a couple of months. Oh, also another reason I'm liking Rust and coming back to more lower level languages is because I'm tired of all of the abstraction. I've been doing Flutter for the last 5 years. Wow, every day is my job. Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, exactly. We've gone full circle, right? From never wanting to work with typed languages to wanting to work with Python, Ruby, JavaScript, and the likes. And now wanting, we're tired of the frustration of working with the type. Because if you really think about it, for you to publish a package in Rust, every dependency and your code must work together, right? The contract has to be fulfilled between all these packages, right? Which means if any of the stuff, the contract isn't fulfilled, your code isn't even gonna compile. You're not gonna be able to publish it in the first place. The interfaces have to agree. The functions are the interface is really the core. The types have to agree, right? It means for you to be able to publish, for other people to be able to use your code, you have to make sure that things work. Especially, at compile time, right? Um, that's not the case if you're using JavaScript. Oh man, full circle. Yeah, exactly. That's you know sometimes we just have to learn. You never know what you have until you lose it. TypeScript did get us to a decent point because when I'm working on a complex code base and I fix most of the issues in TypeScript code base, it's actually nice that it works much better than JavaScript. And like, I've been working with TypeScript for over 5 years now. I really don't see myself working on a JavaScript code base. You know, it's enough for me to never want to take a job that uses JavaScript. I can understand sometimes you might have to work with some legacy, but if that would have to be my main job, like for me, that's a deal breaker. Um, and it has been on many occasions. Yeah, but it's really nice. I'm really glad that Rust exists because it would have been really frustrating not to have it. Um, so we're trying to get DB type. We should be able to infer. So we're first if the user gives that, good. If the user doesn't, we try to infer that. So we can do DB type. As a matter of fact, okay, or else. It returns a result. Results. Ha 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 ha. Infer this. Let's do map. Let's do DB type. DB type. DB field type. Be nice to actually propagate the error. Can we do this within this closure. How's everyone doing today? AST, then we get a DB type, invert type, and now this gives us weird, right? Yep. If that's not there, I think this is better, more easily understandable. So what does this give us? DB type. And yeah, we get a type. We try to infer, and we get a DB type because there's assertion. Yeah, I think this is better. Yep. DB type. Now able to infer. Because don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I wonder the relation type. Like, what do we even need a field name? Yeah. What does this do here? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Well, why are we using field ident serialized? Is that the way we can say if it's ID, origin, and destination node? Well, it's a reliable way to say that. Okay. And in that case, I guess we can just stick with that. So we've got the DB type now being inferred. And I guess Ooh. This stuff I'm calling numeric. I think I should call this view dv field value setter. Yep. This is mostly for a derived macro. Yes, it is. I see the branch name. Yeah, it is for a derived macro stuff. Yep. Field value setter. um, mm, mm. Actually, this should be private. I'm actually curious if we could access this from another numeric. Oh, that's cool. If we can't, we can do, okay. It says we can do it's numeric now. But even though this, how about if I take this off? Am I still numeric token? Oh, interesting. What if I make it private? Numeric. Oh, okay. So you wouldn't be able to access it by another module by default. That's great. We'll do that. This array trade implementation. Why we do that? Great, it's private. Nice. That's exactly what I want. Let's clean that up. Yeah, clean that up. This is complaining. A type. Getting a type. We cannot get it. Get array item type when you get it. A SQL token string into token string. Doesn't mean. Oh, yep, it should be 2 items. Okay. I should be able to do just this. Actually, there's no need for this. But now this is returning an error. Maybe it shouldn't. We can actually just keep mapping that. Yep. Um. Array item type. That returns option. Problem is that my ID is messing up. It's not even sure is that because this returns an option, which means this whole thing is the yep, that should be the thing. So get the type. If that's not present, nah. match type, and that get array item type. I should probably rename that to DB type, honestly. DB type. Yeah, DB type. Get array item type. What does this return? And this is actually none. And in the case of this, we just return an error. Yeah, this will be easier to reason about. Yep, so I can call that file type. Gives us option, returns error, so this should express the result. So it's linked many. You just get pretty much the foreign node, and we get the generics metadata for that foreign node, get the ID. But we actually have to be careful here, because when we're gonna need all the generics metadata, and this is gonna give it to us. Then yeah, also get the generic metadata. If we are able to get a type here, so none, that's we save the type, that's true, that's not optional. Let's get array item type, I believe. Get array inner type. Yeah, so we're able to get this. Then we get the generic meta of the inner type, and should I actually use a wrapper pattern for that, or is that an overkill? Might be, because this is the only place we're using it. So get the inner type. Then if we cannot do that, we just try to look at the DB type. We get it. If we can get DB type, get the array item on this. Otherwise, we return an error, because this gives us generic metadata and array item type. And why do we need the generic metadata? So now we can do generics met yep, so I mean, this is also optional. Yeah. Technically, we can do oh no. We can do map or just provide the default or we can definitely do that or and then okay. Yep, we can do that. course, we can also do mapper. This is the code. And I didn't realize the time. It's not that much. Yep. Yep. Mm. Brett, I can get some rest. I'm dozing off too. Yeah, I've actually had a long day. Um, I've been on the road for a long today. I was by the beach on the west coast. So I've been traveling today actually. And I grabbed something to eat, showered, and pretty much just started working again. So it's been a long day. Thanks for encouraging me to get some rest. It feels as though I'm dying. Well, I'm just trying to push myself, even when I don't feel like it. I just keep on pushing it. Because I really want to be done with Alpha before this month runs out, and even before I end my trip this week, because I have another trip coming up again. Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a long week. I was actually meant to even go out a little bit, but man's tired, man. But it's funny. Memory leak. What kind of project are you working on? That's a good question. I'm working on a Rust project. It's basically a database tooling. It's a query builder, an ORM, a raw query, static checker, a migration tooling, and it has a lot of novel ideas. So currently we support a graph database called SurrealDB. Disclaimer or no disclaimer, I have no affiliation nor relationship with the company, nor the founders, nor the employees. I'm just one man trying to build something that I want and would like to see exist in the world, and hopefully help other people, make other people's lives easier. And in addition to that, I once we're done with the first in V1, we're supporting a single database engine called SurrealDB, which is a graph database, because this project started as an experimentation. But there are plans, right, to support other SQL and NoSQL databases like Postgres, MySQL, SQLite, maybe Microsoft Server, whatever, and even MongoDB, Cassandra. Um, I am very confident that we can support every other databases, and in the worst case scenario, we would. So I already have a very clear pathway, and I would write a blog post on that, on how we're gonna support other databases. But we already have the protocol, the primitives to support them, and some of them I have more specific implementation, separate implementation from what we have, but they are going to use blah, blah, blah. They're all going to use the same semantics. I already have the pathway to support them. I have very good clarity around it. I just need time and energy to support them. But I'll write a blog post on how we're gonna support them. I hope that answers your question. How are you doing today? How did you find the channel? Where are you chatting from? I'm just curious. array implementation. Let's move and get it on. You got me feeling that I want, just like the sea in a song, to the dawn. Let's move and get it on. Let's move and get it on. Oh, I got recommended for you page. I'm also learning Rust nowadays. That's beautiful. I hope you find the channel useful. If you have any questions, suggestions, recommendations, things you would like to see, things you would like to learn, because I'm making courses, please do let me know. Where are you chatting from? Have you tried VLang? No, I haven't. It would be nice to, but I think I've checked it out. Have you? Have you checked out VLang? So what's this? These are direct DB seller. I think this we don't have to abstract it. Yeah, I tried it. It's like go and see. Oh, that's cool, but not popular. Yeah, it's not. It's not. So what got you interested in Rust? I'm interested in system programming. It leads me to Rust. Beautiful. Then it leads me to Rust. That's cool. So what do you do currently? I learned C++ last year. I found it hard. Then I found out Rust. Rust is pretty good for me. Yeah, it's good. C++ has a lot of crafts from the past. You found a few. Nowadays, I'm learning Rust. I'm actually a web developer, and I'm looking for a job in this field, like JS, PHP, React, Vue. I learned web dev to get job fast, but it seems it's not that easy. It's nothing better than VS Code. Um, yeah, I hope you get the job. I think React, Vue are great choices, and the economy is somewhat um in a bad shape now, but it's gonna recover. Is Neovim better than VS Code? I mean, better is subjective. So, what do you mean? Is it better for a beginner? Is it better for an expert? Is it better for navigation? Is it better for stability? Is it better for support? Is it better for stabil? I mentioned stability already, right? Ease of use, and also does that vary between users? But personally, Neovin is better than VS Code, and the reasons are you're able to navigate your code very quickly, right? Of course, VS Code has some shortcuts, but there is only so much you can do with VS Code shortcut. And even though VS Code is ubiquitous now, the VS Code shortcut aren't standard. So what happens when people don't use VS Code anymore, right? And you may think that would never happen, but I promise you it can and it will. I mean, people will. I'm sure people still use some. People still use Notepad till date. Um, but we used to have Atom. We used to have Sublime Test, WebStorm. Like people don't even use Sublime and Atom as much anymore, right? So this is tech. So you wanna develop muscle memory in something that would have long-lasting return on investment, right? Granted, a lot of commands in NeoVim are not standard, but at this point, they've like even around plugins, a lot of commands have been standardized informally, I would say. Um, so you know if you're whether you're writing your own configurations or you are um, moving between distros, it's Astro, Luna, NVim charts, and whatever, Kickstart NVim, Lazy NVim, and blah blah blah. Regardless of where you go, you know the commands are still gonna be pretty standard for for the most part. So that's good, and it's way easier to when you're able to learn to navigate your code base without using the mouse. Yeah, you become much more efficient, right? And there are so many stuff you can do with Neovim, with macros, with um, there's just a lot of things. I've developed muscle memory for many of them now that I don't even think about them, and it lets you focus on your code, and you're just able to navigate wherever you want to go. You don't have to think about it. Take your mouse, go and go back and forth. There's actually very good support for snippets and all that in Neovim. You can find a lot of plugins doing that. Um, so there are assignable, approachable. I'm not sure um token stream is if the tokens is implemented for option token stream. I can definitely make something like that happen. Can you make a tutorial about creating CLI apps with yeah, for sure. For sure. Because I've done a lot of CLI stuff, even in this project. I can make a tutorial. That's a good tutorial idea. I will note that and I'll make a tutorial about it. I'm just trying to finish this project because I've been working on it for 14 months and it would be nice to finally have it ready, if you get what I mean. Um. Okay, I have subscribed to Serious Tutorials. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Do you know what's crazy? On my video now, um, it shows 666 subscribers and 6 likes. And this would have been EP6 actually. But that's good. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. And yeah, you'll be seeing some Rust tutorials. Guys, do you think is memory leak is online now? Brett Hagen was recommending. He said, "Get some rest. I'm dozing off too." What do you guys think? Do you think I should get some rest or just keep on pushing this? According to what was the name? James Arthur. James Arthur. I think that you should get some rest. Field prepper. You never know. That is you. Do you know? We've come to find that you go return. That is you. Do you know? 6 666. I took a screenshot of it. Is that a good sign? I've got 666 subscribers now. I think I should show it on this stream so we can actually see that there's fire on the mountain. I've got 666 subscribers, and this would have been EP6 actually, because I had a not so good stream yesterday. So this was quite short because I was sleeping off, and I had a messy stream, 6 minutes, that I had to restart. But we're good. We are good. Yeah, this is the project I'm trying to finish up now. And you know, actually, this is meant to be a separate PR. I was meant to do just the basic stuff, and I started doing some other work. I already completed this a long time ago, but I started adding some stuff and refactoring, and here we are now. Here we are. Guys, I think it would be best for us that I get some rest now for some reasons. We've already completed one implementation today for the field setter that I'm pretty happy with, and tomorrow we can continue with other abstractions and continue improving things. I'm also going out tomorrow morning, so it's nice, and I need to talk to my person tomorrow morning, so it would be nice to get some rest before that. And what else? And so we can maintain high quality work. You know, it's nice to get some rest. I appreciate you guys for always joining and supporting. For the people that have joined today, again, memory leaks and Anurag, I believe. Hope I'm not missing any names. Thanks to you guys for joining in, for supporting. It means a lot to me. You know, I'm trying to get some work done so we can have this project launched. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord channel also, and follow on Twitter and stuff like that. I'll be posting updates about this project, and we're gonna be doing the launch soon and sharing it on all platforms. I'm very excited about the future, and you guys are so amazing. If you guys want me to sleep while I'm streaming, that's also fine. Yep, but I think it's good for me to take some break from this moment. So you guys have a wonderful night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and let's keep breathing code and let's keep making the world a better place, one line of code at a time. I'm Code Breeder, your Code Breeder. We're all Code Breeders. I appreciate you guys. And see you again soon tomorrow.